like to, sorry, you all set too?
I'm all set.
Great. I'd like to call to order the May meeting of the Albany Conservation Commission at 6:30. First, we will do appointments. I'm going to switch the order. We'll have Tim, because Tim is here, and Heidi has sent me a message, and I can just explain it, I think, as opposed to have her come tonight. So, Tim, you have the floor.
Okay, well, I guess this is just the first time back since we finished up with the timber sale on the towns. I don't know how many of you have had a chance to go up and take a walk. I know, Sean, you did towards the end of it. Has anyone else had a chance to go up and check it out?
Yeah, I went up there this weekend several
The
times.
view from the top is pretty spectacular.
amazing, yeah.
You can see it from Conway Village too.
You can.
That one spot, but
Yeah. Yeah, right from the lights you can. I actually just went up there now and walked around in the landing for the first time since spring. And as the snow, obviously when they built it in the winter, the snow's melting out. They will bring their excavator back up there to clean the landing up. I guess the question for you guys is, what do you want to do with the landing? I know you've been hashing the idea around of having some parking. Do you just want to leave it blocked off the way it is for now, or you think about that, don't need an answer right now. Tread everything down, get loam on the top, just make everything look better than they could making it in the wintertime with snow. Do you want me to throw seed on it when they're done tidying it up? The main crossing where they had their bridges in out of the landing, I was pleased with how that came up. Yep.
Is that grass seed or the black birch?
Grass seed. The black birch seed all got spread right at the end of the job before either of the 2-foot snowstorms.
So like an ag mix.
Yeah, well, it's, reading about it, it said it needed, I think, 58 days of like winter, that. So I got it out in late February, so I think it should have the proper winter period. I went through anywhere I figured there was exposed mineral soil other than the main skid roads, thinking that, years from now, the next time you get cut, as rough as that ground is, you'd be using the same skid roads again. So I purposely didn't put seed in now. But anywhere that I felt it had a chance to germinate, I sprinkled some in there in the cuts, and we'll just have to see. It'll take a few years before it's big enough to be able to determine what's what. But I'm really hoping that we get some germination. We put down like 1.2 or 1.3 million seeds, so a few of them ought to take. I would hope anyway.
How many?
It was like it's 325,000 seeds a pound, and we put 4 pounds out. About, very close to that. So yeah, like somewhere along there.
It's pretty bony up on that hill.
Oh my gosh, the rock. It's
a lot of rock.
You don't realize it until all the trees are gone and you can see it. But yeah, it's rocky. But on the whole, I think the sale itself went well. The town has all the paperwork, but they ended up netting after everything $37,412. So that worked out pretty well. The oak logs averaged out at just a smidge under $419 a thousand, which, considering I was tickled pink with. I'd have been thrilled if it got to 400. So I was very happy with how that graded out. And yeah, have you guys gotten any feedback from anyone?
No.
I haven't heard anything.
no, that was one of my concerns ahead of time, not necessarily my concern. That I was, total confidence in your abilities, but people start seeing cutting, but I have not heard any comments, good or bad. And I haven't walked it since the day that I went out with you and Sean in the middle of it, but I drive by it every day and look over, and to me it looks pretty good and everything.
Yeah.
So
Once the landing's dressed up and looks better and heals itself in, you won't really notice it that awful much.
I think there's the same thing going on all over the valley, so I think people are kind
They
of
understand.
recognizing what's going on and why. Yeah.
it's not Whitaker Woods, so
That Conservation Commission's tomorrow night.
good luck.
Yeah, that one's got a few more eyes on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as far as the landing, like you said, we maybe had talked about a trailhead or a parking lot at some point. You know, I don't know if there's any rush. You know, other than we, you know, probably doesn't make sense to spread seed if it's something we decide we want to do, even if we don't do. You know,
Well, I tell you what,
right
the
now.
main area right on the other side of the big log is where it's pretty gravelly.
Yeah.
Where they hauled sand, when the Kennett Company hauled sand in there. Maybe what I do is avoid trying to put any seed on that, and just where they stumped it and where there's loam on the rest of it, maybe throw,
Yeah.
even if it's just winterized so it
Yeah.
greens up.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you seed it and
You want to have that
decide-
conversation now? I mean, I don't see a reason we have to wait to have that, do you, unless you guys do.
No,
Yeah, no, I'm
it's
in total
fine too.
agreement.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
seed it all
Yeah.
and close it.
Yeah, and then if we decide we want to do a parking lot, it's not the end of
Right.
the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, we've got that
Exactly.
giant rotten pine log
Yeah.
across the whole
Right.
entrance, so I mean,
Yeah.
that's something that would be easy enough to cut into pieces and push out of the way if you were gonna
Okay.
do something else there.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the sale, that's where that's at. The management plan, I started pecking away at it. I would love to think I will have enough time to get it done before next meeting, but no promises, but it'll be close. I got a chunk of it, written and worked on, and some of the mapping done, back around last meeting, so, yeah.
And it's for both the parcels.
All
or
of it, yeah, it's basically redoing the entire thing, redoing the entire original plan to satisfy the easement, updating the map, updating the inventory, updating it all.
Great, and now we will be able to pay you, or pay
Yeah.
for the services.
Which is better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, is there anything else from you guys? Or, your ownership objectives, I'm sure, haven't really changed, since the original, but I mean, you've done some things, there's more defined trails out there. In terms of the management plan, is there anything I should be thinking of that I'm not aware of?
We haven't discussed overly, I think,
Yeah.
other than being maybe trails. That's
Maybe
kind of the
trails,
extent of the
yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
But nothing concrete.
Nothing
Exactly.
One thing,
Just starting to poke around.
one thing Dawn suggested several years ago was we look at doing some timber stand improvement in that pine stand down by the crossover trail, which is down getting close to the fields. There's a
Yep.
big
The old
pine
railroad.
regeneration
Yeah.
going on there.
Yeah,
And
well,
we-
I'll look at that, obviously, when I'm redoing the inventory work.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, that's something we might be able to do with a little bit of advice.
yep.
We
It's
like
good fun.
Nothing to do with our volunteer
Days.
time.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, that should be about it. Like I said, I would love to think that in the next month I'll have time to get that done. If not, it'll be close.
But it'll be 2 months, 1 month. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
It's been-
you're making progress more than what we've been doing. So
Yep.
So, yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, you guys have a good evening, and I guess we'll see you at the beginning of June.
Fantastic.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for all the work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
No problem. Take care.
Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
All right. So next on the agenda, Heidi Belle from Pine Tree School, I believe. Of course, now I gotta find my text here. All right. She reached out. Yes, from Pine Tree School. They've done an annual thing where they go down to the river and I think is it catching fish, measuring fish, that type of water quality type stuff. And I believe last year she had reached out to us just to make sure it was okay and we were on board with it. And then one other request was to be able to drive a vehicle down there so she can carry buckets and all of the equipment. And I think last year, same type of thing, we said yes. So I figured, I told her, I don't see it as a problem, but hey, we have a meeting next week, why don't we just bring it up? She has already reached out to the ranger station, just to get their okay to go through the gate and everything, which I haven't heard. I'm assuming that's probably fine, but so that is on Tuesday, May 14th is the planned. I guess that's a week from today. So, any thoughts, discussion, concerns?
So is the insurance. Of course, they're insured. Do we need to get a certificate, or is it obvious and moot.
I'd say,
Obvious and moot.
Where's the school district? I kind of say, you know, they already do so much stuff out the back of the middle school / Conway L that if God forbid something happened, you know, it's, you
Well
know,
understood.
yeah, I would, that's my thought, but.
Makes sense to me.
Agreed.
All right, I guess we can take a vote on it if we want. I guess all in favor of allowing them to have a fishing day, not necessarily fishing, but
Well, are you meant a motion and a blah blah?
yeah,
Or
that
we
too.
just consent?
Yeah, I haven't done this in a while, so yeah. Do we have a motion for that?
Yeah, I'll so moved.
Second.
For,
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. That is all the appointments then.
great.
Let Court finish his notes.
catching up. Okay.
All right, first item under new business was to approve the meeting minutes from April 2nd, 2024. Everybody have a chance to review those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous. All right, next item, reappoint Court Hansen and Kathy Ryan to the commission. So do we like have to vote and make a recommendation to the selectmen, or how does that work?
Yeah, no, I do not know.
So
Let's do that.
let's do that then.
Yeah. I make a motion to nominate, or so moved. You know.
Yeah. All right, all in favor?
Or are you seconding?
Oh, I'm seconding, yeah, sorry. All in favor? Court, are you in favor of?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
I don't know if I'm supposed to abstain. I'm voting for myself or not.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Recommending yourself.
Yeah.
That's for Court and Kathy, so.
So it's to be sent to the select board for
Correct.
appointment
Yeah.
or reappointment.
It's a controversial subject, but I think they'll get in.
It's, I have to be sworn in sometime. I guess I have to do that with,
You could do it right now.
Right.
oh, can I?
Usually
Yeah.
it's
Sam's here till
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, she's here,
another 10 minutes maybe.
okay. I didn't do it.
Do you have to wait to be sworn in until after the selectmen,
Oh, good point.
technically?
Yeah.
Oh, for that.
It's
Yeah.
like-
Well, I got a note from,
Kelly.
Kelly that it said I should come in to be sworn in, so
Oh, okay.
I guess it's okay.
There's an
If you get it from
assumption
her,
being
then
made.
we're good.
I'm not trying to, I'm not questioning the results of the election. There's a lot of illegals probably voting or something like that.
Legal Conway residents bleeding over.
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
All right, next item, spring cleanup day, May 18th, 9 a.m. Personally, I will not be at that. That is the same day as Crank the Kank, so
Oh,
it's
that's
going to be a little busy in that area probably, but
yeah, good point too.
yeah.
There's a lot of trees to cut in there though.
Are there? I
There's
was
a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do in there for sure.
gonna go for a ride after this and
Yeah, I
check it
checked
out.
it out
So
this week several times. There's
And which part are we
a
looking
dozen
at?
trees down, and there's the bridge washed out, but somebody's done a reroute. So honestly, I think it's easier to use the reroute, which is right on the other side of the stream. So there's no need to cross the stream and just maybe remark the tree and move the sign 10 feet.
there has right by the crossover
Yeah,
trailhead there.
yeah.
Yeah, there's always been a kind of a beeline to the people
because
that don't want to go
afraid
on
of
the bridge.
Yeah,
which
and
is
so
usually
now that the
me
bridge
half
is
the time,
out, it
so.
could be used
Just-
in future trail work. It's I moved it off to the side of the trail. It'd be good for a little low crossing of a wet area, you know. So you know, so be it that we just move the sign over to where it is now. It'd be a lot easier. But there's several things like that to do. But there's definitely some cutting to do. That's probably the most important thing is trees
Yeah,
across
just
the
see,
trails.
yes, gotcha.
So big stuff or little stuff or?
It
Very
ranges, yeah. Nothing so outrageously huge that we can't deal with
Okay.
it pretty easily. Just, you know, a lot of work for one person to do for sure.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. A cut, you know, several cutters.
So it's a week from,
Luggers.
it's a week from, it's a week
Saturday.
from, week from this Saturday, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm available, but you know, if there's no one else, then probably.
I'm gonna change my schedule as well.
Okay, so good.
I might be able to get somebody else, maybe.
Yeah, because it'll just be cutting and dragging basically
Yeah.
to start, run around, branch out different directions, and
What about the trail on the south side of the canyon?
what else? That's good. There's one tree right on the wet climb going up.
Okay.
That's it. The rest of it was fine.
All right.
So I'll run around and I'll just on a little map I'll just mark all the trees. That way it's like when we show up, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
you go this
Nowhere
way.
to go,
So
yeah.
Everybody's just wandering around, wondering
Yeah.
where the trees are.
Awesome. Thank you.
So
Sounds good.
yeah.
All right.
And we started flagging out on the what we've talked about forever, the off of the loop on the other side of the road, heading out towards behind the ski jump.
Yeah,
Nice.
So we got a big loop going all the way around there. It's basically following the perimeter. So the more eyes on that before we actually, you know, approach the land trust for approval would be great.
Yep.
I've gone out, several friends, number of people, whatever, flagging. We just keep moving each other's flags around, which is great.
Tweaks,
That's the way
yeah,
it needs
that's
to
good,
happen.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
people see things differently, and
Nice.
so it's pretty hard to miss once you find the orange flags. The easiest way is if you go up the tank to the boundary line by the hotel
Yep.
and just beeline right up the steep hill along
Gotcha.
the, you know, bump right into a corner of flags.
Cool. Nice.
So just want to throw that out there so you guys might take some time to look at it too.
That's good.
There's several water crossings, but they're all, you know, no more than like a 6-foot little bridge in any situation. So I don't think there's going to be problems there. It's not like crossing like we talked about on the west end. Nothing huge like that.
right. So is this trail, would it intersect the Kank at all, or is it just, it's another loop off of?
It's a stack loop, another loop off of.
Off of,
that, yeah.
off of
Like I said,
Yeah, one
pretty
person
steep
actually
down,
did a
right?
flag line down along that border, and it was like quite adventurous. But after dealing with the entrance on the other side, the wet,
Yeah,
this is like magnified by 100 wet in the. So I
Once
just
you get
pulled
down
all
the
the
bottom.
flags out, and like it's staying up on the hill.
Yeah.
So we're not, and it's a steep hill there too.
Yeah.
Right off the king.
Yeah. Court and I walked that with loppers and a paint can a couple.
Yeah, so you know, you
Summers
hit that
ago.
wall,
Yeah.
but he had flag lines going down through there.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
What kind of bridges do you envision?
We talked about that before. We have to talk with the land trust and see if they like pressure treated or if they want to see hemlock. But you know, just little 4-foot wide, little side channels so you don't slip off the edge of them. Simple, you know, keep it low to the ground type bridge. Very simple.
Yeah.
Would be best.
there couldn't be that much water up there.
No, they're all
Yeah.
seasonal
Yeah.
streams coming down,
Right.
you know, so, you know,
Right.
most crossings you'd be off the
It's not
ground like
like
a
the
foot, so the thing doesn't get washed away. We try to find strategic crossings that are narrow,
Yeah.
that you can be, you know, a couple feet above the water, but short bridge.
Yeah.
It's not like the other side of the canyon, or the other side of the canyon.
Right, nothing like that at all.
Does any of it get relatively close to the ski jump?
It goes right, and so I found several, you know, boundary markers,
Okay.
and it appears that we're avoiding it. It's tough to see on the backside.
Yeah.
Whether we are far enough back.
Yeah. I can
You
take
might-
I can
yeah.
take a look at that because it's basically a drainage is the boundary for a good part
Yeah,
of that.
and we're
so,
on the other side of the big drainage.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it
There's
was.
a couple drainages in there, but it should be all blazed in yellow. It's just probably
It's-
faded at this point.
Yeah,
so.
it was very sporadic. Yeah, it was weird. I was using Onyx, and in the passage, it immediately shows Conway Town property, and for some reason, it wasn't showing it when I was out there this time.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
did
I can
find-
take a
I did
look
find
at
some
it.
yellow markers. Though.
If you found yellow, that's good. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but-
yeah, if you could take a look at that
Yeah.
too before we, you know,
Yeah.
go too far.
yeah, Yep, sounds good.
Yep.
All right, anything else on the trails of the cleanup? All right, old business, going forward with the timber management plan. I guess Tim just talked about that he's working on it, so I don't know if there's any other discussion on that.
Till it arrives with the price tag, right?
Right, right. Yeah, and he had given us a quote a while back for that.
Yeah.
So we have a number,
It's like around $5,000 or something.
4 or 5 grand, something like that. Yeah. So we know generally what it's gonna be. So,
Yeah.
How to raise money for the Conservation Commission in the future? Just keep cutting trees, I guess.
Bring on some more gypsy moths. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, like timber operations are a possibility in certain spots. You know, I think on the river side of things, the river side of the Kenny, with the amount of trails in there, and it's not, you know, it's narrow. There's not a lot of timber anyway, so it's not like you want to do a lot of cutting.
No, most of us cut out already.
Yeah.
Too.
But I mean, I guess there's still the possibility on the other side of the Kank of, you know, that there is some timber in there if that's the route we want to go. But
What's the, is there any news on the Saco District reconstruction there?
they are in the process of surveying it right now, and I believe money was appropriated for all the design work, so that part's happening, which that could take 2 years, and then who knows how long it would be to build it. But
That parcel of land between the Ranger District and the 16 and going out to the fields is Albany Town Forest. There's a fair bit of timber in there.
that's true. Yeah, there is some in there. Yeah.
It could cause some flack, but it might improve the ability.
Yeah,
exactly. Right.
So
Yeah.
no, it's something to consider. There is a little pocket in there, and the access would be relatively easy. You know, I mean, coming in from the field and stuff. So
Yeah.
no, that's a good thought. So, you know, it's a matter of how much you want to cut, and you know, is it
Yeah.
Is there a need for it right now?
right? Yeah.
Probably not.
There's pine in there and some more.
I bet that hasn't been cut in 60 years
Yeah.
probably in that
Yeah.
section. It's a lot of big
Yeah.
pine in there and stuff. So yeah, it's a good point. You know, otherwise, as far as raising money, you know, there's things like doing events, you know, races and things like that. But you know, if anybody wants to take that type of thing on.
There's not sugar maple in any of our.
I don't know what
Not
I'm
enough
guessing
for
it's
sugar,
mostly.
right?
I'm guessing it's mostly just red maple, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. I've only been in that twice, so I've never really looked at it closely.
On the south side,
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely not on the other side.
Right. You know, it was I don't know exactly where the frontage kicks back from the, you know, where the state land ends and the federal land starts and
Oh, right.
our land starts.
Yeah.
But, you know, always wondered about that as an alternative access to the field. You know, because it would still require a new road. But,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it is wet down
It's wet
there
in
in a
there.
couple spots.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's
one
exactly.
downside.
Yeah.
And you'd realistically probably have to come in off the Kank, like by the ranger station entrance.
That's correct.
But because
Right.
everything off 16 would be pretty steep.
Oh yeah, I guess it's it's a monster banking there.
Yeah.
Don Johnson. There was reasons they didn't cut it when they harvested in order to pay for the land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no discussion as to whether they're gonna maintain where that road is now, whether they'll just stay there and they're working around
I
it.
think that, you know, they're probably going to try to work around it, but the big issue is the floodplain. You know, back in December, that big rainstorm, literally like there was 4 feet of water out in that back parking lot.
Yeah.
It flooded out like 8 vehicles or something. So they're doing a flood study as part of all this. So, you know, there's going to be a question of like, you know, where can they even site? You know, the building didn't get touched where it is right now, but there's also, you know, the issue of phasing and then, you know, where you're going to put a new building if you're trying to keep the existing running and then
Sure.
make the garages and stuff. So
Be like Florida, just put it on stilts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
open underneath.
Yeah, but all right, exactly, yeah.
So yeah, and then I mean, there's even some talk of if it's too much in the floodplain, do they look at another site even? So there's kind of some dynamics definitely happening, but they're looking at that. So I guess related to that, roadway repair was the next thing we had on there anyway. So I did not have a chance to follow up with the farmers. I was like in transition of going on vacation and then totally forgot about it. But I guess it was the Forest Service lock that was actually missing and not.
Yeah,
So I'm a little curious as to I don't think they were necessarily blaming the farmers, but they were like, well,
the Forest Service key lock.
yeah, exactly. So
I wonder how that got out. I
Yeah,
mean,
right,
It's
exactly.
gonna have a Forest Service key to do that.
exactly. So that was kind of quick. I was realizing it like after the fact. I'm like, well, wait a minute, this isn't necessarily on the farmers, if the wrong lock was missing. So
Yeah.
I'll follow up on that this week and just kind of see if anything else has happened there. But it does bring up the question, the talking with the ranger that they're leaning towards maybe doing a special use permit with us as opposed to the informal agreement, and the one good thing about a special use permit is that if we decide that we want to do some work on that road, to bring in a little bit of gravel or grade it or whatever, it gives us a little more leeway that we can write that in the terms and conditions of the permit that, okay, we're allowed to maintain as long as we do, meet Forest Service specifications and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead, sir.
I was just saying that seems like a pretty good idea because it seems like we're running into a lot of roadblocks with this road repair.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're allowing us to use it, which is great. We don't have to pay. A special use permit is probably like $120 a year. That's the other thing. And I mean, honestly, we could kick that on the farmers. The two farmers split it for $60. I mean, I think that'd be a small price to pay for access and everything.
Yeah.
But like you said, then it's like we aren't running into this every time there's a washout or a flood or can we cut some branches back or whatever it is. It's like, okay, that's in the agreement. You may still have to run it by the ranger or whatever, but it's like, okay, we already are allowed to do that. We're just giving you notice that we're doing it, that type of thing. So I think that's probably the direction it's headed, but they weren't, nobody was like, oh geez, we're tired of dealing with this, so we're gonna put this under permit. It wasn't anything like that. Yeah. So I'll follow up with that. Any other business? I don't have anything else, I don't think. No public comment, so I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second? I just want to stay here. I'll second.
Oh, I thought you were second.
Second.
You are second.
All in favor?
All right.
All right. All right, we are adjourned at 6:58.